Hello and GM, everyone. My name is Adam Hahn. I'm from the Stacks Foundation, and this is the official kickoff of the Vibe Coding Hackathon on Stacks. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to get right into the specifics, give you an overview of the event structure, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll have a much better idea as to how this hackathon is going to be conducted and what you can expect moving forward with this competition. So let's start with the basics. What is a vibe coding hackathon, and ultimately why are we doing it? So breaking it down, what is vibe coding? It's pretty simple, not straightforward so much, but pretty simple. Ultimately, vibe coding just means you are coding with AI. You are using AI tooling. You are using AI prompts. You are using code driven by AI that's ultimately creating new products. And so we are doing a hackathon around this because it is ultimately now is a very exciting time in the AI space. There's new tools being created every day. There's new products being launched all the time. And it's just a really exciting time to be in this space. And if you take that excitement and that new development of technology and combine it with the potential that we have with crypto and Bitcoin and the possibilities of smart contracts on Bitcoin using stacks, it is just a really, really exciting time to bring all of those different sort of capabilities together and see what incredible builders can do with that tech if you offer things like workshops and mentor sessions and resources to help them along the way. So that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this now. And who can be a vibe coder? Like ultimately, this can be anyone. It is advantageous if you're a developer or a technical engineer, but you certainly don't have to be. You can be a designer, you can be an operator, you can be a BD person. You don't need to even be like a tech person at all. If you learn these tools, if you learn these skills, there's ways that you can apply them that will get you in the same position as somebody who does have a technical or developer background. So that's why we're doing this event to help people learn these types of tools and skills, but we're also doing it with complementary resources and support systems. So even if you don't come from a technical background, you can still be a participant and still learn a lot, still have a lot of fun, and still have a chance to win. So this is for anyone who is curious, anyone who's eager to learn, and anyone who wants to see their idea come to life. The way that this event is going to be structured is ultimately cutting it down into three specific phases: validation, build, and pitch. So these three phases are what a lot of the hackathon is going to be revolving around. You'll see it with the judging criteria. You'll see it with a lot of the resources that we have. But ultimately, these three is how this event is going to be structured. And so going into workshops, there's going to be a workshop on on all of these sections. So the validation workshop is going to be focused on ways that you can ultimately prove that your concept is one that people want. You can verify a lot of the assumptions that you make around your idea or how your idea would be turned into a product, and ultimately get that easy, quick feedback from a potential user group to ensure that this is an idea that's worth pursuing. When we get into the build part, there's actually going to be two workshops. We have build part 1 and we have build part 2. So the first build workshop is going to be a lot more high level. It's going to be a little bit more general. It's going to be focused on setting the foundations of learning how to be a vibe coder. And then the build part 2 workshop is going to be more focused on here's how you take those things that you learned on the foundation setting and combine them with utilizing the unique elements of the Stacks technology and bringing them together so you can ultimately get your MVP or your product built by the end of phase 2. And then when we get into phase 3, that is going to be focused on the pitch. So your pitch is going to be assessed very closely to ensure that it's following a good format, a format that is consistent with other projects. It's going to be a way to keep your audience engaged and your judges engaged. But ultimately, these are the three main sort of pillars of this event. And as I mentioned, we have these workshops scheduled to take place around each of them. And we also have complementary resources that will go along to help you achieve all the things that you need to do in these 3 phases. Another thing is office hours. So each workshop host is going to be offering office hours that you can schedule with them one-on-one or in a one-to-group setting, where you can ultimately take the things that you've learned, apply them to your project, bring them to the office hours to ask questions or to maybe get some feedback. And the mentors will be able to work with you closely to help you overcome any challenges that you might have, or any questions or uncertainties that you want to overcome. So those are the main sort of like pillars of this event. That's how it's going to be structured. This slide here is about pointing out the key dates of the timeline. So starting with today, the 29th, the hackathon officially opened on the 26th, but we're officially kicking off with this presentation on the 29th, and we're moving right into tomorrow, where we will be hosting the validation workshop. The following Monday is when we'll be having our build workshop part 1. That will be led by Kenny Rogers. The second workshop will be a few days after that. That will be led by Ross Ragsdale. And then the third and final, or I guess I should say the fourth and final workshop is going to be focused on pitch, and that's going to be taking place Monday, October 13th. So after that pitch workshop, that still gives you 4 days to finalize everything and submit your project. Projects need to be submitted by October 17th. That needs to happen on Dora Hacks, and those are both requirements. So we can allow the judges to have enough time to evaluate all of the submissions. So that gives the judges roughly 5 days to give any feedback and assess each of the projects, and the winner being announced on the following day, October 23rd. So that's kind of like a rough timeline that everyone can expect for the rest of this competition. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. Here's talk about some prizing. So first place, there's over $25,000 of prizes that's going to be given out. These will be paid in STX tokens. First place is going to be $8,000. Second place is up for $5,000, and third place is a very respectable $2,000. And we also have bounties that are going to be available for the best DeFi project and the best gaming project. So these are up to $5,000 for each of those. And even though these are 2 bounties, any idea is suitable for this hackathon, as long as it's utilizing Stacks Tech and is built with AI tooling, or you're utilizing your vibe coding somehow, then you are eligible for winning. It doesn't need to be a DeFi project. It doesn't need to be a gaming project. But if you do focus in those 2 areas, you could be eligible to winning up to an additional $5,000 if you build the best project in those 2 categories. And the last prize, my opinion, the best prize, is the winner will be invited to an initiative that we're hosting later this fall in Argentina at DevConnect, where you are going to be invited to stay, and you will get a travel stipend to cover your travel costs to get you to Buenos Aires. And this will allow you to participate in our first Stacks Hacker House. So this is going to be an action-packed week-long hacker house full of activities, full of fun, full of free food, full of workshops, full of tons of developer programming, where you're going to be learning more, you're going to be working more on your project, you're going to be taking your project to the next level, you'll be connecting and meeting and networking with a lot of other really interesting builders, and you'll also be able to meet a lot of people from the Stacks ecosystem who will also be there. So super fun time. This is an initiative within a larger campaign that we're doing called Expedition 31. So if you're familiar with the Stacks ecosystem, you may have heard of this already. If not, I encourage you to visit stacks.org/ascent/31. And this will show you all of the different initiatives that are included in this Expedition 31 campaign, and how all of them are ultimately leading into this Stacks Hacker House at the end of it. And so the Vibe Coding Hackathon is one of those initiatives that's part of Expedition 31. Visit that link to check it out. If you want to learn more about the Stacks Hacker House, check out that Luma link right there as well, and you can learn more about the details that are included for that. For our judging criteria, so as I already mentioned, there are 3 key pillars of this hackathon. Each of these key pillars plays a role in the overall judging criteria. So when you follow the steps of the validation process and the build out process and the pitch process, you will be assessed on how well you covered those areas. So there will be a portion of the judging criteria focused on validation, focused on pitch, and focused on build. And to get a deeper look at each of those areas, I'm not going to take the time to go through it on this slide, but if you visit the Stacks Vibe Coding Hackathon on our Dora Hacks page, you'll see more in-depth what's included in each of those areas of that judging criteria. And then I'm just about through, but so our next slide we have here is for our resources. So if you also go to the Dora Hacks page, you will see that there is a fully stacked participant resource guide. This is designed to help you overcome any challenges, gives you really good tips on where you can find really important documentation, really helpful to overcome any questions that you might have. It's going to ultimately be your guide as you go through this competition. On top of the guide, we have a Telegram group, dedicated Telegram group that's for this hackathon. The link for that Telegram group can be found in the Stacks Vibe Coding Hackathon on Dora Hacks. And the last resource that we have is the workshops. I've already explained how the workshop structure works. And just as a reminder, if anyone can't make the workshop, that is more than okay. Every workshop will be recorded, and we will share all of the recordings of each workshop in the Telegram group. So it's super important to join that Telegram group so you can, fully take advantage of all of the resources that we have. It's also a good place to ask any questions, catch any announcements that we'll be making. A really good way to stay up to date with everything that's going on related to this hackathon. That's it. That's all I wanted to get through today. If you have any questions, be sure to voice those. Come find us in the Telegram group. Be sure to check out the Dora Hacks page. Be sure to jump into the participant resource guide so you can start getting a feel for how all of this is going to go down. And with that, we will be picking things up tomorrow for our first workshop, the validation workshop. I will see you then. Have a good one.